So, hello guys. I am Alexander Busuttil with Geraldine Opaka. Okay, if I spell it wrong, please tell me.
Opoka.
Opoka.
Yes.
And we are following up uh, after the last conversation about the intermittent fasting. And we discussed about what is the right way. And I made some notes that we are going to speak about. Uh, we are going to speak about the toxins while we are losing weight, the symptoms of these toxins, and the effects on our hormones. This is how Jerry called it the fat protector. We can also discuss about what is the difference between bad and good cholesterol. And also Jerry said something important that you should never start if you're not prepared for it. And we are not, I think we are going to elaborate on that also, because some people then relapse to weight gain again fast. And what I would love to also elaborate myself is that healing is not actually fun, but it's pain and suffering. You need to accept that. If you don't, you're not ready. So these are the points. I'm sure we can do a very beautiful conversation to go deep, but those people who want to see this introduction, this is actually what we are going to speak about. So I don't know where you want to begin with. I leave you your choice.
Forgive me. So thank you so much, Alex. I'm happy to be here again, to be talking about a subject, a topic that is so near and dear to my heart. One, because I use it and it has completely transformed my life. But two, because I'm now teaching the same program to ladies especially, so that they can find their health and their vitality again. I'm focusing predominantly on women who are in perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause, with a view of giving the ladies who are pre-menopause the comfort that they are not going into a place of suffering. They are coming to a place of transition, and so that they can do it with love, with joy, and the fullness of the season can be available to them to enjoy. So I think, Alex, let me start with being ready to do intermittent fasting, or any program really that is going to bring you health. A lot of the times, the mindset with which we come at this is frustration, desperation. So those two for most people. And the frustration or desperation could be from somebody being tired of how they look in their clothes or how they feel. It could also be from a place where a doctor has said, if you do not, ... this and this is going to happen to you. And so we are looking for something. If it's something that everyone is talking about, like intermittent fasting today, everybody is talking about it and saying, oh, it's the rave. And because of that so-called rave, I have thought to myself, should I use the word intermittent fasting? I've seen other wellness coaches avoid that word, avoid the intermittent fasting, maybe because they do not want to feel like they are part of the bandwagon. There's a feeling that it's a bandwagon. But when you go into their program, they are tapping into intermittent fasting. And again, to agree with those who feel like it is a thing now, because everyone is talking about it, I want us to also understand that everybody is doing it. For as long as you have a period in your day, within the 24 hours, where you go for a few hours without eating at all, you are doing what is being termed now intermittent fasting. So this thing called intermittent fasting is our normal. The question is, how many hours beyond what is your normal window of no feeding are you going, so that the longer you go, the more benefits you harness? So I circle back to whether someone is ready or not. Depending on whether you're coming from a place of desperation or frustration, it's important to get your mind right. If you want to just dive in and get a quick fix, then you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer because your body, your mind will not have prepared your body for the transition that is going to come with going from eating breakfast at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. or whatever, after eating your last meal at midnight or at 11 p.m. to now pushing that window. Your body will suffer, your mind will suffer. Also, what your body does is that it goes in survival mode because it's not prepared from a mind space. It's not prepared for a period of going without food. It is going to react like there is just no food. Like like the body is in stress, but it's not a good stress this time. It's not the hormetic stress. It's going to be the negative kind of stress, so that the body holds on to your fat, it holds on to the weight, and it thinks that it is saving you by doing that. So anyone who wants to get into these kinds of programs, you have to have a good, you have to come from a good place to know that it's not easy. It's not just a walk in the park. Like you said, Alex, you said healing can be painful, and you have to be ready for that. You have to be ready to know that you are going into, you're going to do something different to your body, and it is going to cause certain reactions. So that really would help for people to understand that it's not just a dip in and out. We're not going to pop. There is no magic pill. And also the results you may have seen on a person who has inspired you to join the program cannot be your results, because you are not that person. Your journey is different and your experience is different. Your body's response is going to be different. So when you understand that, then it makes it easier for you to go through what you need to go through. So I would like you to lead from this point, Alex.
Thank you very much. And, Jerry, it's important about this really to go deep into what is healing. Because when we think about weight loss, it's also kind of healing. It's a healing in a physical form, but also you are saying that we need to prepare emotionally for that as well. So it's also a mental healing. The thing is this, that if we can manage to do this, in this case, losing weight, it's not just about losing weight, it's a general mindset.
Yeah.
A general mindset that to heal, we need to exercise our body and our mind. And along the way, there is this pain and suffering, which we accept, because when we move and we exercise, we whatever do, it's part of the process. You cannot numb the pain or the suffering. And if you do, you're not doing it right. So the same is like a labor, that today there are so many medications that you can take so you don't feel nothing, but eventually the baby will go. This is something that for me, even though it's good for certain women, you are not experiencing the whole process, and you will not accept like what brought you here, and eventually it will be more and more painful. So once we understand this general mindset, even if we have any kind of condition, let's say cancer, we know how to deal with it. So it's a preparation for even worse conditions than just having weight. So
Alex,
yes, please.
So, you said weight loss is a kind of healing, and I cannot agree with you enough. So the weight that we want to lose is a physical manifestation of the unwellness that we have internally. Because the body, what it is that we have eaten excess, and our body is, I mean, it is such a miracle that if I compare the body to a car, we put fuel in a car, and when the tank is full, it's full. It will not take any more fuel than the tank can accommodate. The difference with the human being is that we, number one, our tank is elastic. And number two, our body is built in such a way that it can take more than the tank can hold. In the sense that when we eat, the body is going to turn that fuel, which is, the food that we've eaten, any excess that we have, the body is going to take it and turn it into storage mode. There's short-term storage, which is the glycogen deposits, and there is long-term storage, which is fat. So it's going to find different places in our bodies to store the excess fuel. The problem is that in the beauty of the design of the body, the way we eat today is we are abusing that mechanism by eating so much that the body eventually has to start finding other smarter ways of keeping the excess in long-term storage by now going to areas where it should not keep the fat, where it should not keep the excess food. So now you find that fat is starting to go to the spaces around the heart, the spaces around the lungs, the liver, spaces in areas in the arteries. Now there's, deposits, fat deposits, so that when the internal spaces are full, now we start to see the body expanding to accommodate that excess fuel. This is what we call fat. So when we tackle fat, we tackle it and anything it may have caused on the inside that makes us unhealthy or unwell. So absolutely, when we deal with weight loss, we are dealing with healing 100%.
Wow, Jerry. And yeah, a great reflection that came because I like to reflect the inner and the outward. And what I envision while you are speaking is this, that through economic expansion, there is an expansion also in the body. Why? Because if there are so many shops, there are so many food, and people have money and they buy.
Yes.
So more expansion. Today we are into progress that we have a good economy, right? Africa is thriving, Malta is thriving, right? But it's getting fat as well. And getting fat from money, sometimes you get fat also from weight gain. So it's similar to poverty. Sometimes you need to go on the poor. You need to choose to be poor when eventually you are rich. So
yes,
how can we deal with this richness, with this wealthy system that is providing us, that is pushing us to go, come, you know, you see these billboards filled with fast food, or, you know, come, and eventually if you are in a rush, you can come with your car and eventually get your meal.
Just drive through.
Yeah, the economy is pushing us to expand ourselves and themselves. So how can we, in general, deal with this push to expand?
So this is a beautiful question. And you also give a beautiful analogy of economic expansion. It means expansion of everything. And everyone who's opening shops wants more expansion, more economic expansion. So they're going to produce more things. I always say a potato used to just be a potato. Put it in the soil, it grows, you eat it one way. Now we eat a potato probably 300 different ways. And every shop that's going to open is going to sell the same potato in a different way, but the mouths that are going to consume that potato in all the 300 ways is the same mouth. So we have to create time in our day to continue eating this potato in all forms. And something else you mentioned that is very profound is that as you're driving, you see a billboard that's telling you how to eat, and then you're thinking, oh, I'd love to eat that, but how do I reach it now? And they say, don't worry, just drive through. Just as you're driving along your way, just take a short detour, make an order here, and by the time you drive around the very small building, your food is ready. And you can eat it in the car because it's finger food. It doesn't need a fork and a knife and a table. So you can eat it as you drive home. Never mind that when you get home, there's something else that was prepared and waiting for you. So how do we manage this economic expansion so that it is not taking away our health? We have to be aware. We have to be aware of what is going on. We have been numbed by this expansion into not listening to what our inner woman or inner man is saying. Do I want to eat? Yes. What do I want to eat? And your body will dictate what it wants to eat based on what is happening inside. What is it deficient in? What does it need? Where is the nourishment needed? So that it will say, eat XYZ, or I do not want to eat. And then we honor that, because when the body does not want to eat, what it's really saying is, I do not want to get distracted from a job that I'm doing, from a healing that I'm doing, from a cleaning out that I'm doing, or from just a resting and rejuvenating that I am doing. Instead, the billboard speaks to us, the radio speaks to us, as we're scrolling, the phone speaks to us, and every one of those economic expanders who have opened shops are looking for our eyeballs. They want our ears and they want our mind. So the only way we can thrive in this expansion is to go within. Now, we can still buy from those shops, but we can buy knowing that what I am buying is going to expand me. The economic expansion is going to expand me, even if it's bringing convenience. Is it convenience that is healthy? Is it convenience that is going to elevate me as a being? Or is it a convenience that is going to numb my mind? That is going to cause me, my work-related anxiety is going to get worse if I drink, if I buy a certain drink? Or is that drink going to help me calm down? Is it going to help me think clearer? So what is being added to these foods? We can only deal with that if we are aware of what is going on, and if we are buying to feed ourselves internally, not to respond to the person in those shops, not to respond to the person who has put up that billboard. Because something very important is that whoever puts up that billboard picks a strategic point where they know that we will look up. The things that they put in the food are very strategic, that they're going to touch certain parts of our palate. These things are also, the food is going to cause a reaction in our bodies that is going to make us want more, so that tomorrow we keep going back. So by the time they have done that much study on our minds, our palates, it means they are literally changing how we think. So we have to go back and ask ourselves, what do I want? So self-awareness and going within.
Wow. And your digestion begins from your eyes, right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
they
know
know
that.
the marketing technique is that they make a beautiful photo and you are so attracted to it that now you feel hungry.
Yes.
We are speaking about the right way. Why should be a wrong way? If the public healthcare truly want us health, why those institutions support this wrong way? Why they let this billboard shown in public? Why there are those adverts that are encouraging people to gain weight? Why there is so much sugar in our food that brings us back to the same product until we are so fat? So yes, we can control ourselves through demand and supply, right? So we go to that shop and we choose the healthiest options. But why there are those not healthy options? Why there is this variety of wrongness? What is this? So uh, it doesn't make sense. I work with essential oils, example. There are so many brands of essential oils. 90% of them, it's a very number like that most of them better to use nothing than them, because they are not pure. They eventually, there is the aroma, but inside they are toxic. What is the point of having a product that is toxic, that makes you worse? Because it's cheap, because it's fast. And you also mentioned about that we need eventually to choose the healthy way. And usually the healthy way, we need to prepare for it. So we need to cut, cook, and it takes time. And time is also precious for us. And it's painful to dedicate time for food instead of doing whatever else. So when we spoke about healing is painful, healing it's also based on choosing time to dedicate to yourself by cooking or by checking the labels or by truly be conscious by listening to this video and eventually learn. Those people who don't take time to learn, they will not heal. So this is something important, that pain is not just physical pain or mental pain that we are going to prepare. Okay, let's do this. But this is not just this. It's a lifestyle you are building up. And I'm not going to read this book and okay, I know everything. I will speak to Jerry for my life. I'm sure we can share progressive knowledge every time that we experience something new, and there will always be something new. So please don't stop. Yes. You mentioned something about fat as
Alex,
being.
before,
Yes, yes,
sorry,
yes, of
before
course,
you
of course.
continue, you are touching on subjects that I have been praying and asking the universe to give me an opportunity to not just speak about, but conversate about with a person who feels the same way and who sees the same things. When you ask why are these foods still being sold? Why are the billboards still up? If we have a government, if we have doctors, why do these foods? Because everything that you see that is talking about health talks about very specific things. Stay away from refined sugars, stay away from processed food. And everybody knows what those things are. But it's like we're sitting, one group is in Mars, another group is in Jupiter, and we are speaking. And we are not speaking to the same people, and we do not see that we're just speaking. And no one is coming out. The same government that is saying, do not eat X, is allowing X to operate. So it's a brilliant question. And I cannot, now I feel like, how do I answer it without, anyway, it is an economic expansion problem. It is an economic expansion game. And this economic expansion game is very deeply rooted in a place of, what's the opposite of the abundance mentality? The mentality of lack. There is, there's a word for it. Oh, scarcity. Yes.
Scarcity. Yes, beautiful.
It comes from a place of a scarcity mentality, economic expansion foundation. Because I want to expand economically, I can only expand by making the potato, enhancing the taste of the potato so that I draw Alex to me. Otherwise, if I don't expand, Alex is going to go to James. So in expanding, I have to make sure that I put some additives in the food that are going to make Alex addicted to my potatoes. So I will take something that quickly excites a person's palate and makes them eat a certain way, knowing that when they eat that way, in a short while, they're going to feel hungry again. And they're going to come back. And then I'm going to make money. And if I continue doing that, then I'm going to expand economically. Because if I don't do that, there is not enough money for all of us. So that's the one thing. The other thing is that when you're asking about the doctors, I often say, why do doctors wait until a person is sick? And I'm always thinking about a father in a home who then has high blood pressure, diabetes, and they will say, stop eating food that has been fried, don't eat sugar, get off, all the quote unquote nice things. And I say, why should daddy get off this food because it makes him sick, right? How come we are still eating it? Why isn't the doctor saying everyone in the family should go off sugar? Why do we wait for daddy to first get sick, then tell him to get off the sugar. Because when that happens, then daddy is hooked to the healthcare system now. He has to keep going back to hospital because no one is giving information, no one is giving the why, no one is teaching. So we will also eat until mommy now has high blood pressure. Then, oops, mommy is also knocked off the list. We continue eating until we get sick. Then we get knocked off the list. Then I thought to myself, when a doctor goes to medical school, what are they taught? It's very simple. When mommy or daddy come to the hospital, they will say, I have XYZ pain here, aches here, I'm not sleeping and I'm not happy. Then the doctor will say, okay, these are the symptoms you present. A combination of 3 symptoms points to this disease. Here is the medication. That doctor has no business telling the people at home, do not eat XYZ because it is going to make you sick and it's going to make you come to the hospital. Because if you don't come to the hospital, how is the doctor going to get paid? How is the doctor going to make money? Okay, so the doctor knows why you're sick, but he has no business stopping you from eating those things. And the doctor, anyway, does not have a platform to speak to you when you're still fine. That is not his job. He's so busy every day dealing with sick people that he has no time to start telling all of you out there, please don't eat the sugar. Anyway, the manufacturers of the sugar and the soft drinks and everyone, they have their own financial muscle to put the billboards up. So we are caught between a rock and a hard place. And we have now normalized being sick. We have normalized diabetes at a young age. We have normalized high blood pressure at a much younger age, that it's just a thing now. You say, oh, you know, I have diabetes or I'm pre-diabetic and, you know, I don't know what to do, because no one is telling you what to do and saying it seriously. So you continue eating normally, and then the doctor says, I have to put you on medication because I don't trust that you're going to, you know. So this is what is killing us, is that the people that we have now been taught to trust. And before you get on any wellness program, you're told, check with your doctor. And I'm always like, wow, why do we have to check with the doctor before we make a decision to get healthy? But when I go and start drinking alcohol, no one is saying, please check with your doctor before you start taking alcohol. Please check with your doctor before you start eating food from any of the fantastic fast food restaurants. No one is asking you to check with your doctor before you start doing unhealthy things, before you start staying up all night and not sleeping. But should you want to get on a program that's going to help you change your life, make sure you check with the doctor first. Back to you, Alex.
Wow. Oh, Jerry, I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
I love because you know, when you speak with someone like you, it's so much profound, and it brings up certain consciousness. Actually, right now, I am envisioning a person who is going to the doctor, and he now is diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And the doctor said, you know, I think it's your fault, you know, because this is not genetic. Type 2 is something that you brought in. You eat too much of this refined sugar, maybe. So the system puts the sugar in the system, and then the system judge you that it was your fault. It's your fault because you chose it. I put it there but you should not choose that. So this diabetes person say, why did you put that from the first place? And this comes a dark side. And this is very important, that when we think about the past and how the people reacted to even the governments to certain law, there you see the revolutions and
Yes.
all the people rising to the government. How can we control those people not to rise anymore? So they remain like children asking for help. Simple. Make them sick.
Mhm.
How can someone sick do something? He will always need something. So I will give him so he can continue to live. Where there is this pill and this healthcare system that we provide through your taxes. So I believe that the way the system is working, it's a method of control. So the government and institutions continue to do whatever they want, whatever they want. And you cannot do nothing because you are sick. You have high blood pressure. And if you come and try to fight, probably you will have heart disease and you will
Yeah.
just fall down. If you have type 2 diabetes and you are in that field, maybe you are in war, don't forget your insulin, okay? And if you have any kind of condition, probably will not run. I will catch you first.
Mhm.
You are always the prey, and I am always ready for you to grab you.
Yeah.
So this is a dark side because it's a collective way to control our system of sickness. We decide how much you will be sick. Oh, you can choose the right way. You can eventually listen to Jerry and Alex for how much you want. Go to your store and we'll see who will win. You know, those shiny uh, bottles or packages, you will eventually fall. Trust me. So the system is saying like this: I am in control. You will never be totally in control because the system will deceive you. We know how to manipulate your mind. So, and you need to go there. It's like you want to not smoke anymore. What you do? You first thing you should do, you should not go where the people smoke. But since the supermarket is not separated, it's the same place, you need to see, you need to feel, you need to remember your childhood addictions. And I remember the time when I used to eat that, and you look at this shiny packaging and again, and this this idea that you cannot eat this, the mind cannot accept it, cannot. We are in this uh, mentality that, I am free, I want to be free. Are you truly free? Go eat whatever you want then. You are not free, Mela. So
Yes.
you see, so following the right way makes you also in prison of what I can give to you, the magic pill,
Mhm.
okay, that beautiful package that can give you that high in whatever means, even when you just bite it and you remember those feelings that what a bliss, it's so much. So this brings me to the idea why people are gathering in other places. They're building new communities. They are literally thinking of going in a place of nowhere. Why? Because these impacts that the system have on us, it's easy to say no to, don't choose that, don't choose that. But when you go in practice, and even you say let's do a cheat day, does that cheat day really works, or it is a reminder every time you cheat? Ah, how much is precious
How
this
much you're
for my,
missing. Yeah.
you know? So what do you think about the cheat option? Do you provide a cheat option for those people that are in your program?
No, I don't. Because, first of all, the word cheat. So, where the two places where cheating happens is in an exam. You're going to cheat and get the answers. Like when you say cheat to me, the places in my life where I have come in contact with cheating is predominantly in an exam where somebody is going to get answers when they shouldn't. What is the repercussion of cheating in an exam? You're going to have false results. You're trying to show that you're good, but you're not, you know? And I keep saying, we're going to have doctors who cheated in their exams, and they're going to be treating us tomorrow. So this is how grave. We're going to have children who cheated in exams, and they are architects today. They're engineers, and they're going to build. They're going to put up structures that our children are going to live in tomorrow. Where else do I find cheating? In relationships. Okay? So if I cheated on my husband, what does that mean? Can we have a day when we cheat in our relationships? Even in a relationship, I would rather my husband and I decide that, there is a day when we are going to allow ourselves to go and have other partners. That for me is more liberating than a day when you're going to cheat, because you're going to hide and you're going to make sure no one sees you. And then you're going to, in that process, you will do more than you intended to do because you're trying to not get caught. So in my program, I say we're not going to cheat. There is no cheat day. And who are you cheating? I'll be cheating myself. Does that even make sense? So I say to my people on my program, if you want to go and indulge in a meal that you used to love and that your brain is saying you should go and eat it, make a date with it. Make a date and say, on Friday, I'm going to go out and I'm going to eat the biggest, juiciest burger that I have not eaten. And I want everything. In fact, it has to be a double cheeseburger, and I want double fries, and I want the biggest juice or the biggest fizzy drink. Go out in public, order this big meal, and sit down and thank God, thank the universe for creating all this sauciness, and eat it. Savor every taste, every bite of it. Just try and think, what did they make it with? At that point, you're going to realize that, hey, there is so much spice in here. There's too much grease. Like, it's nice, but oh my God, it's not as nice, because in your brain, you think it is better than it actually is. And when you're cheating, you're so concerned about not being caught that you are not aware of the real taste of the food. And when you're cheating, you will not realize that it's not as good as I thought, because you're thinking about not being caught. If you're eating the food, you do not even realize that, wait a minute, I've had enough, because you're not aware. You're in the closet hiding. You're thinking, oh, someone is going to walk in, so I have to eat so quickly. You will not get the signal that I am full. Whereas if you sat down, you'll say, okay, you know what? I'm going to keep it because I'm full now. I've not even gone halfway. It's okay. I'll keep it. pack it for me, I'll take it home and I'll eat it tomorrow. Then the next day you'll wake up and say, does it make logical sense that I still want to continue with this? Maybe not. So it loses, there's a word for it. It loses its perceived goodness. And the next time you're thinking, oh, maybe I should eat that burger again, your mind is like, it wasn't so great. So do we want to go back there? Maybe not. And normally after you've eaten this meal, when you're not cheating, as soon as you finish, your body will say, okay, it was nice that we ate that, but it wasn't great. Like, I don't think we want to feel these feelings again, because now you're bloated, now you have mental fog, now you want to sleep. So we don't cheat. We go and indulge. My mind wants this, my body wants this. Let me give it and see. Okay, is that what it is? So cheating doesn't work. Cheating comes from a place of, again, not being aware.
Mm-hmm.
And the words, I always say, words have power. If you cheat yourself, then you will suffer the repercussions or the consequences of cheating. Naturally. Now you have cravings that you did not have before. And you have to deal with those cravings, So for me, there's no cheating. You want to eat it, make a date, go out and cheat and eat it. As long as your mind is fully aware of what you're doing. If I want to cheat on my husband, I will ask him, can you please allow me to go and meet Mr. X? And if he says yes, then Mr. X is not exciting anymore,
Yeah.
And I'll come back and, so that for me is how I look at it.
Wow, beautiful. I cannot explain better than that. Wow, it's so, what you brought to me is that I have been on plant-based lifestyle for almost 4 years now. And during the time, when the people understood that I am like that, and we are in a different mentality, and they say, I'm sorry, you cannot eat this, right? And I tell them immediately, yes, I can, but I don't want to. So that is important, that this awareness, this consciousness, that because people will push you indirectly. It doesn't mean they want to hurt you, but indirectly they are. And when they challenge you, you cannot eat this. Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
I actually wrote it down here. You said somewhere that, when you're told you can't eat this, then you want it. And I said, I always say, yes, I can. I just don't want to.
Yes.
And for me, it even goes to the things that the government says, you cannot do this. I just tell myself, yes, I can. Whether I am able to do it or not, my mind has to always be in the right space. I say, yes, I can. I can if I want to. And when I say I want to, for something that I've been told I can't do, I just say I want to, and I say to the universe, bring it to me when the time is right. And let me tell you, even a government official one time will meet me and say, oh, come and join me for this. And, I'll be able to indulge in what the government said I cannot indulge in the right way. So absolutely. And when you say that, when you tell people I eat only plant-based, then they will make it seem like when they say, oh, sorry, you cannot eat this. It's like, oh, I feel bad for you. You're like, no, I can. I choose not to. But also, I think that when you make a decision to be healthy and you're doing things that other people consider difficult, and it's difficult because they are not where you are. They have not walked your journey. So they are looking at your lifestyle from there today. They're going to eat chicken or beef or pork, and they're saying, oh my God, what would life be like if I can never eat this again? They don't realize that you did not make the decision like that. You came at it from a certain place, you thought about it, and you said, you know, I think I can try this, and every day. So when people find that you have gone on a healthy lifestyle, it triggers them because you have managed to do what they only dream of. And now they're like, you make me feel bad. So are you going to be like this every day? You're not fun anymore. Why don't you, so you're not going to drink? Just have one drink. But if you say, I'm not eating because I'm praying and fasting, then they know you're suffering. And they'll say, okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, like keep going, and may your prayers be answered. But if you're not eating because you just don't want to eat, they're like, how dare you? Who do you think you are that you just don't want to eat, So I find it funny, and I always give them grace, and I always send them love because I know where they're coming from. And I pray that one day they will find the enlightenment that I have found, and that hopefully my lifestyle and the happiness and joy that I have can trigger them into saying, you know what, maybe I can think about it in a small way, and the seed starts to grow.
Yeah. Wow.
I know I cut you off, Alex. I know I cut you off.
No. It's okay. It's okay. I always reflect on what you say, and I want to really deepen this because it's also a personal, and I believe it's a very, very generic issue. The social pressure that, because the right way, it also depends not just on our choice. So I am choosing the right way, but what about my friends, my family, my colleagues at work? What choice they are choosing? So let's say they are going to invite me for an event. Everybody's going to drink alcohol and lots of sugar in it. And there is also eventually full of food, and usually it's not healthy. So we are doing a Christmas party. The Christmas is important, so you should come. Yes. You should come. Definitely, you should come. So I decline this kind of invitations for the day I began to choose plant-based, because there is no option for me. That is how I began. What is the point of paying for something that I will not use? Yeah. So if there is no option for plant-based, if there is no exciting drinks that I can drink that can eventually make me healthy, like a smoothie or a natural drink that, let's blend these fruits and, let's make an exotic natural flavor. If there is nothing like that, but just a stimulation from the alcohol or from the sugar, then that is not my place. And since the majority choose the wrong way, you feel alone. And sometimes it's like you are the strange person. You are the person that you are antisocial. Yes. You are the one who is out of this. You are wrong because you see the majority is the wrong way. You should choose the wrong way. Whenever there is this kind of event, even when they invite me for a birthday gathering, they bring the cake at work, and there is a very bunch of sugar there that eventually brings everyone together. And I always decline. I tell them happy birthday. I just hug them hard, and I told them, your invite is my cake. That is what truly I need, and what you need is my hug. You don't need to give me nothing more. I don't need any kick. So you should work on what I can give and what is the point. What is the
Yeah.
the what we, because we are so into materiality that we need to give something like a product, which eventually the product is also ourselves, the hug itself. So this is something also for the people who are in that place. I'm sure everybody is, that you need to look at the positive side. And whenever those people, you look at them and you see those gatherings enjoying themselves and indulging themselves on these kind of wrong ways, think about someone who is one part of those gatherings, and remember the last time he told you, my father just get heart disease. You know, we went to the hospital. We had so much problems with him. Now I need to take care
Yeah.
of him. And you see all the stories. You know, I have so many from the same people who eventually invite me into these gatherings. So, do you want that? So why are you choosing that? They are in oblivion. You know, they don't know what,
Yes.
and
Yes.
they still follow the standard procedure, which is the wrong way. Why the wrong way is standard procedure? And this is something that I want to enforce, that this is not your fault. This is not our fault. This is
Yeah.
something that our parents were taught like that, and they provided like that. We are adjusting on what we already saw and seeing, because we have enough of the sickness, personal sickness and external sickness, whether it's in the family, in our friends. So we are doing this from experience. We didn't read a book and we say, oh, enlightenment. No, we experienced what we are and what you are doing. And eventually
Yes.
we decided to go the other way, because there is. Wow.
Alex, yeah, that was so beautiful. And I know about the social pressure. So I say to my excuse me, the students in my program, that we have to make our wellness look sexy. Not look sexy, we have to make our wellness sexy. That means I cannot be finding life, finding health, and looking miserable. So, what am I finding? And if you have found a good thing, you want to share it with the world, especially with the people that you love and care about. But there's a gentleman called Sal Di Stefano. I mean, I think I said it the last time we spoke, and I say it all the time. He said something so profound that you have also touched on. Di Stefano says the default of modern life or modern living is poor health. And it's so true. Everywhere you look, what is normal, what everyone is doing, what is socially acceptable, what's morally acceptable, involves a removal of the mind. How do you talk about your father being sick? In fact, we talked with the ladies on the program one time. Someone was saying, oh, Jerry, thank you so much for all the information you've given us, because now I realize that when somebody is sick in hospital and we would go and visit this person, we would stop at the supermarket. And I mean, I did it for a long time. You stop at the supermarket and you buy juice, the packaged juice that is really just flavor and sugar. And then you'll buy bread and maybe some, cookies. If anything says this is healthy, that's what you buy. But none of us has stopped to think that there is no way a real mango is inside this packet of juice that's going to sit in the shelf for 6 months or for a year. there is no way this sweetness can be good for the sick person. So it's like we don't think. And there was like, oh my God, now when I'm going to see even the food that is cooked in the hospital. There is no day I've gone to hospital to see a patient and I look at the food and I think, oh, this looks like good, healthy food. It is the same food that probably made the person sick, only that they will say they've not fried the sauce. But anyway, social pressure. I love that, you're talking about, when you talked about hugging, if someone says, I have a birthday, and you say, just knowing that it's your birthday is good enough, like telling me that is my cake, my piece of cake, and I will hug you. It made me think that now you are in a place where your celebration mechanism has gone to the next level. By celebrating like that, you are actually expanding from your heart to the other person's heart, a gift that they can never get from a physical cake, from a physical party with drinking and so on and so forth, where there's like your energies are all over the place. Here, I give you my heart and I connect with you at that level. I just felt, when you said that, I felt like, wow, that is so beautiful and that is so profound. Then when you talked about, these places, are they going to have juice that is going to be for me? Are they going to, make a nice exotic smoothie? If they made that smoothie, you would probably buy, you'd pay for it and, sit with everyone and at least for 1 hour, enjoy, drink as much as you can of the smoothie, which is possibly 1-2 glasses, and then leave. But you will have been a part of the celebration without going away from your belief, which is to honor your body, and sometimes people don't understand that. And I'm always like, it's okay if they don't understand at one point in their lives, maybe when they have finally reached that point where they want to do better by themselves, they'll see it, or when they're sick, they will remember, oh, this is what Alex did, so it's really unfortunate. But I think what you should do, something that popped up in my head that we can do as people who have chosen a lifestyle that sometimes makes us intentionally exclude ourselves from those spaces, is we start to create the reverse. Get 2-3 friends and make the smoothies and make the food, invite them to your world. Let them experience what life is like in your world. So the meeting doesn't have to be 9 p.m. in the night. Maybe it's a Sunday afternoon. You eat a nice, healthy meal. Also knowing that they have to come to your house with an open mind, because they're going to see your plant-based world. And maybe the food won't be 100% fantastic, but when they leave, they'll say, Alex is so happy in his world, and maybe, we can incorporate some of that. Or they can even see what it's like when they invite you and there's no healthy drinks, there's no plant-based healthy food. Then they can see what life is like when you go to their world. Now they come to your world, there's no alcohol, there's no meat, there's no fried food, but it allows them to see the other side and the joy that is on the other side. Now, for me, how I do it is, if I'm invited to a space where I think there will not be, because I'm not plant-based, and I'm not, like super, super strict. I have room to wiggle. So if I'm going to go, I know that I have a strict unfasting protocol. My unfasting protocol lasts me at the least 2 hours. So 2 hours before I go to that party, I have to be preparing myself for when I get to the party, right? And when I get to the party, first of all, I have eaten. So I'm not hungry. So what you're going to eat at the party, I can choose to eat as well if I find things that I can eat. But it's not going to be a make or break for me. If I'm going to drink alcohol, and I only drink just one type of alcohol, if I go to a party and that alcohol is not there, I do not drink. And it's not even a sophisticated drink. It is, if I go to, the more sophisticated the party is, the more chance of not finding my drink. So I go in with an open mind, knowing that this party is so bougie that I will be frowned upon if I ask for my drink, but I'm true to what I like. So I know that if my drink is not there, I am not going to drink any alcohol, and I'm okay with it. So because of that, if I go in, even when I'm going to drink alcohol, there's no rush. I'm not trying to get somewhere. I'm not trying to get drunk, because I know now that if I tell myself I'm going to this party, it's going to be great, I am the life of the party. I will walk into that place and I will be the life of the party. And I will dance and I will have such great fun without needing an external stimulant for my happiness. So I go in there fully charged, like from head to toe, with this party energy that as soon as I walk in, before I have my drink, for 2 hours before I have my drink, I'm dancing, I'm hugging people. I mean, I am so fully immersed in it that when I have one drink, oh my God, it's time to go home. Like my body cannot take it, which is good, because every time I go out, then my body remembers that the last time you had the drink, you could not even stay at the party anymore. So delay it as much as possible. And if possible, don't drink at all. So by the time I'm thinking of drinking, I'm even exhausted, like it's time to go home. So for me, I'm able to plan. If you're going on a business trip, or if you're going to give a presentation somewhere, you have your presentation on your laptop. I have a small, cute, thin, slim laptop that I know I cannot plug an HDMI cable into. So I have to think, if I get there and I can't do HDMI, what's the option? I have the little cable that connects to my phone that is not it has a C slot. Will the other person on the other side have a C slot? Maybe not. Can I carry an extra flash? Okay, if I carry a flash, can I let them know that I have my presentation on a flash? Do they have an extra laptop so that it can connect to the projector? I think about all these things because I need to be able to plan for my presentation. Why can we not plan like that for our health? Why can we not plan like that for our lives? People say, oh, Jerry, I traveled. I went to the US and so I got off the program. Hello? Which part of the program did you get off? You could not go without food for 16 hours or 14 hours or 13 hours. Help me out. You could not find vegetables in America. You could not find the protein that you eat. Which part of it made you fall off? It's simple. They did not plan, so they got there and there was ice cream, there was pastries, there was all this processed food and refined sugars that they told themselves, oh, I don't know, anyway, I'll just get back on the program when I go back home. I always say, you did not cheat me. You cheated only yourself. You cheated only yourself. And you denied yourself and your mind a chance to be great. You denied your body a chance to be honored when options were presented. You denied yourself a chance to show yourself that I can do this. So when you're ready, you get back on the program. When if that doesn't happen, then you know what you're capable of and what you're not capable of. I send them off with grace and love.
Wow. What I want to include this is the invitation. When someone invites you to the wrong way, from personal experience, there is a person who invites me, actually invites everyone, and I every time decline, now for 4 years. And the last time he came, he invited me again, and I declined. And when I declined, I saw, I like communicated with his spirit and said, I think he will not tell me again. And immediately I told him, please invite me again. Declining, it doesn't mean I don't want to be with you, but I am waiting for you to choose the right way. Your invitation is what I need because you accept me in your group. And that is my food. That is my drink. I drink from that. I don't need anything else more than your invitation. So don't stay away from invitations. Face them and tell them that you want to come, but you feel that you're not in that place today. So this is something that we, through these ways, there is the wrong and there is the right, we create separation. We should not create separation, and we should not discriminate, and we should not judge. And this is the idea that we are waiting for this consciousness, and everybody has his own timing, you know. Everybody has his own.
Absolutely.
This is not I realize that everybody should realize. No, everybody has his own timing, and some people they don't realize at all. So you can wait for your life, and that is their choice. What you said also about this example that they cheat themselves, it reminds me again of the system, like telling you it is your fault, and that's why most people get depressed, because why I cannot do this? What is my problem? What is wrong with me? There is nothing wrong with you. A system is wrong. The standard, the default system is wrong. That's not you, it's where you are. So this is something that people, when we go to the doctor, I have a depression. Okay, get this pill. No, that is not the point. The point is you need to understand why we are depressed and depression is increasing, because this expansion is increasing. You cannot go, you are in a corner now. So, and also I want to go around about there is a practitioner that recently I worked with, and I told her with this question. I asked her, what is the purpose of this life from your perspective? And she's a very holistic person. She's actually a functional medicine doctor. And she told me to have fun. This life is to have fun. Okay. It's important that we have fun in the right way. What is the point of not having fun and eventually being in the right way? So this is important. If you choose the right way, truly, you need to have fun. If you are in that place of suffering, I should not and you are judging yourself and you are sticking needles in your body, you should not go there and you pinch yourself. That is not fun. If you are not prepared, so this is part of preparation, not to have fun in the right way. So you should not eat for 16 hours. Is it fun for you? If it's not, don't go. Even if it's healthy. Because if the mind is not having fun, it's not healthy.
Yeah.
It's the same way of when you eat food and you are angry, you don't digest it well. It's simple. There is a science that we can go through. But eventually, when you eat it in a loving way, not essentially the environment is nice or even the sounds, because if you can focus on your food and be grateful in that street, even if it's full of dirt, you know, and you are eating on your feet like a poor man, and you are grateful for this plate, you are in bliss. So this is something that you need to be conscious that once you accept this invitation, you need to have fun. And that's why I decline the invitation of the wrong way. Because if I go, I want to have fun and I will make a mess. I will make a mess. So I am ready for this mess. I am ready to break everything that I worked on. See a project of yours, you know, see a design, an art that you built for weeks or months, and you destroy it just like that. Is it worth it? So it's important. We see you landscape, Jerry. You turned the mobile, I think.
Oh, sorry.
So eventually, this is important that we need to accept the right way as having fun doing this experience. That is important. Yes.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. And when you talk about therapy, so part of the work that I do is that I do mental health advocacy, and someone will call me and say, I want to see a therapist. I'm struggling. So I'm always like, okay, where do I send you? Can we have a talk? And when I have a conversation with them, did I just get dark? I think the sun is disappearing on me, but anyway.
Yes.
Alex, are you there? Okay. Are you there, Alex? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can see you and hearing you well.
Okay. Okay, great. So what I do normally is I sit down with them and I say, okay, so what's going on? They say, oh, I'm suffering anxiety or so depressed or, whatever. And mine is, first of all, to help them understand that what is happening to you is life, is that you are living. And some of the things that you're going through, if we just circle back to where the problem started from, they will not know where it started from. But so what has caused you this now? And where did that come from? And then what happened yesterday? And then where did you connect that to? You connected it to 2 weeks ago. And I just kind of show them that you're not broken. It is your interpretation of what is happening that is not being completed. Because when you see the whole picture, you will see that your anger is valid. You will see that your sadness is valid. However, it doesn't need to stay like that for too long. But when you don't process it fully, then you're angry today and then you look away. Then you're angry tomorrow, you look away. Then you have a whole month of anger. But if you stay in that anger long enough to let it build up completely and boil over, then now you can say, okay, I was angry because this, and I'm not angry anymore. So yes, I think, people, sometimes when people go to the therapist, they focus on the anger, and yet, they give you medicine to take the anger away. No, go back to why the anger was there. And then, start to, and yes, people do need medicine. People get to a stage where they need medicine, but I feel like we can arrest this before the medicine part. Okay.
Well, yes, and I what brings this to my mind is taking full responsibility of the self.
Absolutely.
And full is a very big word. It's not just
Yes.
one word. This is something
Yes.
that, example, from the time I'm studying natural medicine, we have two children, and my wife is still a bit skeptic about it. So she's more into the conventional system, and whenever the children have a problem, let's go to the doctor. And
Yeah.
I tell her, you are doing this because you are taught to not take responsibility as a mother to take care of the children. There is the doctor for that.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what is our responsibility? Because if you see the institutions, there is an institution for everything. And if you think about it, what is our responsibility then? And from the time that I increased my consciousness and I learned natural medicine, and I decided to take full responsibility of myself and the children, I eventually, responsibility is something great, but it causes fear, and the people are fearful of responsibility. So let's go to someone who I can dump my
The
responsibility on.
responsibility to,
And
yeah.
if this person gives me something, whether it's a service, whether it's a product, which is not good for me, I will sue him. Okay, that is this kind of responsibility you want, to put it on others and then judge them because they made maybe a mistake of something that they
Yeah.
missed, or maybe that you didn't tell them. So this is something that we are fearful to take full responsibility of ourselves and dump it on other professionals. When eventually, what I'm learning is that everybody should become the professional. So, Jerry, I truly believe in duplication. Are you still there? Jerry, are you still there? Are you still?
No, wait.
Oh, we just had a technical problem, so sorry for that. And we were speaking about duplication, and I said that our intention, and I believe Jerry is too, is to teach you how to do it yourself. The intention is not to always refer to Jerry, please help me. Jerry, please help me. She will always be there. I will always be there. But you should not 100% be dependent. That is why I believe in duplication, and in time, you will be the one who is teaching others. That is how healing and transformation will happen in an expansive way, because our intention is to make the right way as the standard default.
Yeah.
That is the greatest mission in our lives. But to do that, we need people like us to speak in public
Yes.
and
Yes.
to the collective. So this is something that we need to duplicate ourselves in you. So yes, I think we can wrap up with this. And, if you have any other things that you want to say.
From my notes, I also took notes and this is something I'm learning from you. Two things. One, when we talked about doctors and the government and so on and so forth, I remember thinking recently, so I did full body tests, well, a few tests, and I looked at my vitamin D levels, which were normal. I looked at a friend's vitamin D levels, which she was told she's deficient, but we're about the same place. She did her test in Nairobi. I did mine in Uganda. And when she did her test, she was upset because she said, why can't we trust our doctors to do the right thing? So when I did my test and I compared with hers, I thought, oh, wow, this is interesting. But this is also vitamin D in doing my research, I realized that there are different ways. So, they say you need to take 10,000, 2,000 or 10,000 or whatever number of thousand international units of vitamin D. That's what you take in the tablets. But when you go to hospital, the test results are sort of different. So he breaks it down and he's saying, it seems like what is acceptable in hospitals is still deficient anyway, in terms of what a human being needs or what you can get from the sun. But that whole conversation made me think, if we were given a normal range of a condition, how do they determine what is the upper limit or the lower limit of a condition? To say, if the upper limit is 5 and you're at 5.1, now you're not well. But if I'm 4.9, where do I fall? Then it made me think also, how do they determine what is the acceptable level of okay? Because I could be 4.9 and I'm always not feeling great, or I could be 4.5 and I'm not feeling great, but I'm still within the normal range, So who determines the ranges? I know that there is a whole science behind how the ranges are determined, but then I say, if I can expand or shrink that range, whichever way I want. If I think about my ancestors who did not have these kinds of tests to be able to tell whether they are okay or not. This is why we go to hospital sometimes and they say, I don't feel fine. I feel, then the doctor runs tests and says, everything looks okay. I think it's stress. I'm like, that is always an alarm. If it's just stress, I know what I'm feeling internally. That should be my compass. And I should then go and do things that improve me, for me, because no one will feel what I feel inside. If it's doing some exercise, going for a walk, making sure I'm drinking more or I'm eating more, I now have to sample the different healthy things until I bring my life back in balance, because no one feels for me. That's why that responsibility to say, but the doctor said I'm fine. The doctor said there's nothing. What about you? And same with the children. I tell my children, and I've told them from the time they were way younger, when they start saying, oh, mommy, I don't feel, I say, don't you dare fall sick. Don't you dare fall sick. And they would laugh. They're like, mommy, I can't control it. I say, no, you can. You can determine whether you fall sick, whether you give in to that feeling. Ask yourself, so I feel this way. There's a checklist. Have I been drinking water? Have I been eating right? Have I had my vegetables? Did I eat some fruit? Did I sleep well? Did I sleep long enough? you know, I tell them, just in your head, just allow yourself to go through a sort of random checklist. Then if you're still feeling bad after 2-3 days, you know, let's explore again, and then we go to hospital. So we can go 1, 2, 3 years without ever going to hospital. And when my child comes and says, Mommy, now they're big, they're 18 and 15. We've been like this for so long. When they come and say, even when they were little, they'll come and say, Mommy, I think I need to go to hospital. I would not ask again. I would not even say, is it this? I would get up and go, because I know by the time they say that, they too have gone through the checklist, you know. So it's important that we take back control, because the communication is inside. The other short thing I wanted to say is that you keep saying the wrong way. And for the sake of, or for the benefit of everyone else who will be watching this, when we say the wrong way, it's the wrong way according to us, because we now know the right way. And it's important to note that it was always the right way until we knew differently. And now we said, oh, it's the wrong way. So other people are still on the other way being the right way, being the only way that they know. And the day they wake up, they, you know, someone will call you and say, oh my God, I realized, yes, you know, like that's the wrong way. And they go through their motion of it's wrong, until they say, okay, yeah, that's, you know, it's the right way until you open your eyes and you realize, oh my God, that was always the wrong way. So I just wanted to bring that little clarity for their sake. Yeah.
You know, I believe we are going back to the roots.
Yes, absolutely.
Because
absolutely.
The right way is not something that we made. This is not man-made. Actually, it's naturally made.
Yes.
So whenever you see an apple in a tree and an apple in a juice like packaged, you know the right way. You know perfectly. And that was always there. And from that juice, that package is coming the right way. So why you should choose the right way from the first place? So this is something that we already know what is the right way. Our ancestors know clearly. We just accommodated this way of living today, because we are always in this economic expansion and we have no time to go and eventually do it ourselves. So this is something that also is interesting to what I'm thinking of, that in our next session, to bring a doctor, a friend of mine, in our conversation, and we can also ask questions about, for example, this vitamin D range, that from his perspective view of general practice, that we eventually can have a beautiful conversation with someone who is eventually doing this. So we are no doctors here. We are no doctors.
Yes, we're not at all.
So it's beautiful to invite people who are and are ready to eventually share their story as well, because this is something that some doctors even know that they are doing it wrong, but they still do it. So this is something that maybe next time we need to go deep that, and I think we can wrap up with that. Okay, so thank you very much, Geraldine.
Thank you too. Thank you so much
for accepting my invitations, and eventually for being here, taking your notes, taking your time, and you decide that this is important for you beyond whatever there is more in your life, including your family. So we are sharing love here, and our intention is good. Whether for you maybe not is not coming everything good, I know Some of them is like a total realization. But please, if you have any questions, you can even be here with us and eventually ask your question yourself, or text us, or comment on this video. So please communicate, interact, whatever you want. We are pleased to have you on board. And of course, we always wish you well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you very much for giving me this platform, for giving me an opportunity to speak, for giving our conversation a space for people to meet us, to talk to us. I'm just so happy. I'm really, really happy. And I've also enjoyed just being by myself today. And, you know, as soon as I'm done with this, I'll go and pick up my child from where she is. But it's been so beautiful. Thank you very much. And I thank everyone who has reached this point. I hope that this blesses you. I hope that this expands you and this makes you even more curious about the beauty of this life.
Wow. And if anyone are seeing this for the first time, there are other 2 spiritual conversations with Jerry, because this is not just the first. So please, I would encourage you to begin from the first, and you see the evolution coming. Okay. So thank you very much again, and wish you well.
Thank you.